What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Taco Garage, and today in the shop we have this third gen Taco here. It's got bumpers, it's got light. Fun fact about this truck too, this bumper is meant for long travel, so it's a little wider to accommodate for the fenders for the extra width. This is obviously not a long travel truck, so you got this little catfish looking mustache on the truck here. It's got more lights, it's got king suspension, cambered UCA, C4 sliders, whole bed rack sleeping situation here, deck system, rear bumper, more lights, king shocks over here, old man Emu springs. But you know what it doesn't have? Enough power to power all these things. So that's where this comes in. Genesis Off-Road, this is a Gen 3 dual battery system with dual Odyssey batteries. This Genesis kit is probably the easiest, not the cheapest, but probably the easiest way to get dual batteries in your Taco. So what happens is you just remove the battery, remove the brace, remove the tray, which is just thin plastic at the bottom. And then you're gonna have to make space for the new tray, remove all the wires if you have any wiring going on through here for your harnesses, your lights, or any accessories that you might have. So once you do all that, you just go back to your tray and install that. And that's probably the hardest part of the whole process, just installing this tray, making room for it, removing all the wires that you have already there, like taking up space. Once you have that done, you just put your batteries on top and put this spider looking thing on top. And this is gonna do all the thinking for you, which is the kind of peace of mind that you're gonna be paying for if you get a kit like this one. This automatically connects and disconnects the battery, both batteries accordingly, so that you're never out of juice to crank up and go. Even if you run your accessories for an extended period of time, overnight or something, it's all gonna be done by the auxiliary battery. This will automatically protect your cranking battery. So pretty cool stuff going on here. It's a pretty smart system by itself, but if you think you're smarter, you do have a switch here to connect them or disconnect them, or just leave it on auto. If you leave it on auto, it's gonna connect both batteries whenever one of them is above 13.1 volts and disconnect them whenever both of them go below 12.7. So if you set it to off, it's just gonna disconnect the accessories battery, and you leave it to on, you're manually connecting them. So I recommend, and I imagine most people are gonna be using auto for most of their adventures. It's smart enough and it's robust enough. You have these bus bars here for all of your accessories with different size bolts, which is really convenient. Now we're gonna get started on removing everything we need to remove from here so that we can make space for our tray and our new dual battery setup. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty tricky. We still have a bunch of wires here that we need to clean up, but I managed to get the tray to sit all the way down and actually sit at the bottom of the tray location here. So now I can go ahead and mark the holes. There's two more down there and down here. So there's 6 holes total. You need to drill those out and put the riv nuts on, and then you can mount this tray. It's gonna be a pretty tight squeeze. I still have a bunch of wires here that I need to loosen up a little more and just get out of the way, because once I put the batteries here, they're definitely gonna be pushing against this. This is the winch, so this is gonna go to the Genesis itself. So this I can easily remove. It's one of the bigger cable sets in the way here. It's also tight over here. It's actually right now touching the cap here. But we're just gonna push it as far that way as we can. And it's gonna clear by a little bit. It doesn't have a lot of clearance, but it's not gonna be an issue. You can also, according to their instructions, you can undo the fill neck there and just flip it around 180, and then it ends up somewhere around here. So it's kind of out of the way. And then on this side, you're gonna have a battery really, really tight against this clip for opening the fuse box. So that could potentially be inconvenient, but I don't imagine it's a big issue. You can always get like some kind of tool in here, a screwdriver or something in between the battery and the plastic, so that you can pop this out, or you can just cut the tab so that it doesn't actually click in place, and you can just lift it by using these the other tab and just lift it out. So now we're almost ready to go. We have the holes made, riv nuts installed, and they're all lining up. We got the wires a little out of the way. We just needed to cut a little bit more slack from over here. They were all tied down, so A little more slack on them. Now they're routed behind the tray, and all the holes are where they need to be. Actually, I can't see this one. There it is, somewhere around there. But yeah, every hole is lining up, so we just have to bolt it down and put the batteries back in. Both batteries are now in, and it's a super, super tight fit. As you can see, I had to cut a little bit of an edge here, almost nothing, but just a tiny bit of an edge so it's not making contact. Over here, it's super close, but it's also not making contact. Same with the filler tube. I had to bend this, the very corner of the mount here, but I feel like this bracket could be a little shorter and it would just make it easier. And then over on this side, you have a very little space to get to your fuse box clip over here, but you can if you needed to. And it's just very, very tight, but it fits. Just like that, the dual battery kit is finally done. As you can see, super tight tolerances everywhere, but they do fit and it fits nicely. All the hardware, everything they give you is high end, so it's super solid. Nothing moves, not even a little bit. There was a lot of wire management that we needed to do because there's a bunch of lights on this truck that we needed to, have space and room for all the wires to run through. There's also a winch that was kind of in the way, but now everything is just a little nicer. We open up our bus bar compartment here, and you can see we have our winch going here, our switch panel. Switch panel's over here. That's the aux beam. Everything's operating normally. You can see this is an automatic mode, so it has the batteries connected and charging right now. I think that's what the green means, but you can look at your manual. The point is, it's working the way it's supposed to. So this is also a little tight, so it kind of bumps the plastic here as it's opening. Again, probably the easiest, definitely not the cheapest way of having two batteries in the car, but one of the best in my opinion, just because it makes everything so simple. So that's really useful if you want to, one, jump yourself out of a bad situation, two, just you're camping, you want to light up the area, you want to have a refrigerator running. There's a bunch of different use case possibilities for this dual battery setup. But if you're looking for something that's simple and maybe you have a little extra cash in your pocket, you can definitely get this. It's a really good idea, really good kit, high quality, everything. Thumbs up to Genesis, and that is all we have for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching.